Are you a comic book fan ready to dive into one man's massive comic book collection of over 20,000 comic books spanning over 60 years of collecting from Golden Age to Silver, Bronze to Copper, all the way through to the Modern Age? Well, I'm Tim Aslin, and I'm going to take you through them all, one short box at a time, A to Z. Strap in, because these are Marty's Comics. Hello everybody, welcome back. This is episode 5 of Marty's Comics. We're going to dive right back in. Enjoy the show. This next one's kind of interesting. Kind of. It's very interesting. This is a cameo appearance. It's the first cameo appearance. It's issue 195. This is the first cameo appearance of the Taskmaster. I know a lot of people are upset about them changing the sort of whatever story and origin and some of the dynamics of the Taskmaster in the movies. But beside that, it is exciting. Today or yesterday, I think it was today, the Thunderbolts Asterix trailer dropped. And I'm not going to lie, I think it looks kind of good. I mean, who knows, but I like how it looks. It looks fun. And it's nice to see these characters that sort of felt like side, lesser characters, whether or not it was like Ghost being in the second Ant-Man or it being, what's his name, U.S. Agent. Oh my God, I'm blanking. You know, being in a show and not really, like, these people didn't feel like they really arrived fully, so maybe this movie is where we'll see that, and maybe 2025 will be a resurgence for the MCU movies. Who knows? This issue, here, let's do this. This, as I said, it's called, well, it's the first cameo appearance of Taskmaster, which I have a very hard time saying. Assault on a Mind Cage. Let's see, the Avengers have recruited Hank Pym, like they needed to recruit him. He's just around all the time. Who he himself has recruited Scott Lang in turn. Okay, so if you want you want that moment's representation in comic books, and you want the first cameo appearance of Taskmaster, this is the issue to get, I guess. Why'd they do that? So, it's so they can recover the Wasp from within the Solomon Institute. Once inside, the small heroes realize that the hospital for the criminally insane is actually a front for a school to teach thugs for hire to the major supervillains. Oh yeah, they're getting them. It's a, what would you call that? It's like a breeding ground for for lackeys of supervillains. That seems, I mean, I guess you have to have it, right? Like, where do all the thugs come from? They got to go through some training, otherwise you'd never get anything done. Great cover. This is a George Perez. Amazing. That leads us to our second major key of this box. And I'm sure you can imagine what it is. And this is definitely a cover that you see on the walls of comic book stores of your local CBS. Do people call it that? I don't know. So this is the origin and first full appearance of the Taskmaster. Classic cover, man. George Perez just rocking it. This one's called The Terrible Toll of the Taskmaster. Don Michelini was the writer. Cover anchor was Joe Rubinstein. Did a great job. That green background looks so good. Excellent work all around by everybody. I love it. What's this worth? It's worth like $40 raw. Not bad. So here we go. So those past few, maybe they were newsstand, because we've arrived at our little Spidey head, although I feel like I saw it already, but who knows. Either way, pretty cool issue. This is obviously not a newsstand, but cool nonetheless. Iconic cover. Really great. Anything the Avengers can do, I can do better. Yes, we understand your skill set. Amazing. All right, let's move on. What's next? What is next? Issue number 200. Minor key, just for the sake of getting to number 200. Also, you could win a Toys R Us shopping spree. Remember those? Probably not. Although, I wonder how many of you are my age or older. then you would remember it. Grand prize minimum value, $3,000. Back then, $3,000 is nothing to scoff at, that's for sure. This is also the first appearance of Marcus Immortus. Let's see, what else we got? It's called The Child is Father to, ? Oh boy, whose kid are they talking about? Oh, no description, so we'll never know unless you buy it and read it. Special double-sized anniversary issue, though. 75-cent cover. Very nice. Everybody looking good. George Perez. What more could you ask for? Next up, we have a big jump. No keys from issue 200. Whoa. Issue 200 all the way to the next one, which is issue 211. There we go. So issue 211 is Tigra joins the Avengers. Man, just everybody's coming and going. Tigra, this one's called By Force of Mind. Let's see what it says. The time to change up the order of the Avengers and a lot more applicants arrive than expected. Wow, okay, so Moondragon has been manipulating events from behind the scenes, attempting to create a better team than any of them can develop on their own. All right, that's fun. Cool, so everybody shows up and says, hey, I'll be an Avenger. And then Tigra gets the call. Jim Shooter writing it. Let's see, cover artist was Dan Green and Gene Colan. Basically, those two kind of took over everything. We got Angel showing up. He wants to be an Avenger. Who else we got? It looks like Dazzler, Black Widow, Hercules, Tigra, Hawkeye. Is that Moon Knight back there? And then the 5 in the front being like, oh boy, what are we going to do with all these freaks? Everybody just wants to be an Avenger. Can you blame them? I never wanted to be an Avenger. I think I was a little partial to the X-Men. Personally, that's mostly what I collected. I liked X-Force. Kind of got into X-Factor for a while. It was fun. All right, so what's next? 2 issues later, once again, we've got I already referenced this. I'm pretty sure. You know what? Let's open this bad boy up. This is a key issue because it's controversial. That's what it says. Controversial issue. It's the court-martial of Hank. We got a lot of business going on. We got some extra action happening. And then we've got Hank and Janet being dramatic. Hank's losing his mind. Tigra's being Tigra. Hank's not in a nightgown. Janet's in her nightgown. Oh boy, here it is. I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing because it's crazy. Check it out. Here we go. The famous Hank just backhanding Janet. Good Lord. Not cool, man. What are you doing? And the court-martial, I think, was deserved. Let's be honest. Controversial issue. That's for sure. Jim Shooter wrote this, if anybody was wondering. Bob Hall drew that beautiful panel. I like that it says whack. It is whack. That's crazy. Oh, boy. That's one to keep, you know what I mean? It's a great cover, though. Cover looks amazing. Wow, controversial indeed. Let's see if I can get it back in the bag without messing anything up. Ooh, I was getting nervous doing this. There we go. That was smooth. All right, let's move on from that controversy. We've got issue number 219 next. There she is. By Divine Right, Moondragon Commands. Let's see, this one's called By Divine Right. What do you know? Right there on the cover. It's issue, what did I say? Issue number 219, 1982. First appearance of the Ba-Bani. Does anybody know anything about that? I don't. Oh well, but that's cool. First appearance. All right, 219. Let's carry on. This, I really like this cover. I know it's a little, maybe not, oh boy, maybe not everybody's into this, but I don't know what it is. I think it reminds me of when I was a kid. There was the same friend that I was talking about had a Marvel PC game. It basically had this kind of thing where it had, all of the heroes you could choose from. You could pick a hero. I don't remember anything else about the game. I think it was kind of role-play-esque, but I was too young to really remember. And I think I never really got into computer games or gaming in general, so I just kind of was like, oh, cool, the art, I like it. It looks cool. I'll be Wolverine, or I'll be Hawkeye, or whoever. Let's make the point of what issue this is. This is issue number 221. It's called New Blood, and it is when She-Hulk joins the Avengers. Let's see, what else? Jim Shooter and David Michelini were the writers. Ed Hannigan was the cover artist. Cover inker was Brett Breeding, and the penciler was Bob Hall. Colorist was Christy Scheel, and the letter was Janice or Janice. I don't know. Probably Janice. Janice Ching. Man, black bolts around, Spider-Woman. Pick 2, it says. Answer inside. Oh, who will be the who will be the newest member of the Avengers? That is the question. But we know who it is, because I just told you. It's She-Hulk. She gets in. Lucky her. Next up, this is really exciting. This is iconic. I mean, truly, truly iconic. This is another that we've mentioned these two a lot this episode, or whatever you want to call it. We got Hawkeye, and we've got Ant-Man, and yes, it is an iconic cover by Ed Hannigan. There you go. Ant-Man on the end of an arrow. Somebody's gonna get it. Ain't that the truth? And when Ant-Man and Hawkeye join forces, yeah, that is true. Somebody probably does get it. So this is called Of Robin Hoods and Roustabouts. Cool. Hawkeye must face his past after an old circus colleague is threatened by Taskmaster, featuring Scott Lang as Ant-Man. So they did it right. They did it right on this cover, and they did it right in the movie. Did anybody not like that moment in Civil War? Because I did. I loved it. Civil War is great. The only thing I would say about this particular copy is that I feel like the white has faded. It's not quite as bright as it could be. You can kind of see too, the white of the backing board there is just a touch more vibrant. So this one's faded a little bit, as to be expected with older books. Still a really amazing cover. So cool. Now we are moving on. We're jumping down a few to 227. Ah, beauty. I actually have 2 copies of this, but this is Testing 123. That's the title of it. The second appearance of Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, joins the Avengers. All around great. Now it's making me wonder, what issue was the first appearance of Monica Rambeau? Do we have that? Should I look it up? I don't really want to, but I'll do it anyway. Oh, of course. Why did I not remember this? It's in Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16, which I do have. Not right here, but in the storage. I have it. We'll be taking a look at that at some point. I figure I've mentioned this, but that's Amazing Spider-Man that's what I read. Like, that's what I'm pretty dedicated to reading, and I love them all. So that'll be a fun one to check out. But anyway, this is the second appearance. Got 2 copies of it. They both look great. Actually, I wonder if the other copy is the newsstand. Let's find it. Negative. It's just another direct copy. Direct issue, whatever it's called. No big deal. That's cool. They're great. So the next issue is the following issue, which is the third appearance of Monica Rambeau. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's, cover doesn't really have or show anything that has to do with that, but it is the trial of Yellow Jacket. And judging by Hawkeye's demeanor, I don't think it's going great. Let's see. It says trial and error. That's interesting. The Avengers and the general public anxiously await Hank Pym's trial, but with Egghead alive and vengeful, the masters of evil may interrupt the due process of law. Are you trying to tell me that Hank is going to get off on a technicality because some supervillains jumped in? Does he not have any accountability for hitting his wife? His wife, right? They're married at this point. Yeah. Good Lord. He looks remorseful, though. I'll give him that. I'm sure he comes around. We all do bad stuff, but that's pretty bad. Like, really bad. Like, the worst. Maybe not the worst. Killing people is the worst. But that's not cool. Enough of that. All right, here's a fun one. Eros is renamed Star Fox, and Star Fox joins the Avengers. This is issue number, 232. It says right there. It's called And Now Star Fox. Must be nice. You just show up and you say, hey, look, guys, I know you call me Eros. Everybody knows me as Eros. No big deal. Call me Star Fox. It's a big change, but an easy one to make. I don't know why everybody gets so wound up over these things. Somebody says they want to be called something else, just call them that. Who cares? I love this cover. It is a Al Milgrom Cover anchor is Joe Sinnott. I knew a guy named Joe Sinnott. Not this guy, though. Great musician. Anyway, the writer is Roger Stern. We got two inkers, Joe Sinnott and Frank Giacoia. Colorist is Christy Scheel. Letters are Jim Novak and Rick Parker. And the editor-in-chief, Jim Shooter, is now the editor-in-chief. I think he has been for a couple issues. From Titan with Love, Star Fox. And he's going to make everybody just feel good. That's his whole thing. Just being really persuasive. Cool issue. We got two copies of that, I believe. Oh, no. We have 4 copies of that. So now, as I was just saying, this is particularly cool for me. This issue is issue number 236, and look who it is. It's Spidey, and it is called I Want to Be an Avenger. The cover says Spider-Man an Avenger, ? You guys want to know the answer? This is a key issue because Spider-Man is denied membership to the Avengers. It's for the best. But I remember reading this one, and then the Spider-Man, I forget what issue it is that coincides with this one, but it's pretty funny. Anyway, we got Roger Stern, Al Milgrom, Joe Sinnott, Carl Gafford, and Janice Chang working on this one. I love this cover, though. I think, what do I have? I've got 2 copies of this one, too. What a great one. Fun times. Anything with Spidey is something I'm going to get excited about, so what are you going to do? All right. Next up, we are cooking. Here you go. This is a key issue because it's an appearance by David Letterman and Paul Schaefer. As you can see, David on the cover. This is called Late Night of the Superstars, Mike Carlin's Page O Avengers Stuff. No other information on it. There's a funny warning down here. Let me see if I can pull it up. I don't know if this will... Yeah, that'll work. It says, warning, surgeons have generally determined that assistant editor's month is dangerous to your health. And I think they're saying, this copy was an assistant editor decision. Beware, it's assistant editor's month. Don't say we didn't warn you. I mean, that's cool. It's corny. Whatever. We got that checkered border banner, whatever you want to call it. 239. David Letterman. And Paul Schaefer. Wow. Really, Paul's been around for a while too, and he's getting the love, so that's nice for him. Next up, issue number 241. This is the first appearance of Morgan Le Fay, Magical Menace. Did we get a mention of Morgan Le Fay in the Agatha All Along first 2 episodes? I can't remember. Could it be that Aubrey Plaza is Morgan Le Fay? I don't know. I don't know enough about this character, and certainly we don't know yet what's happening in the show. I suppose it's a possibility. I heard another theory that she's somebody else. I can't remember who. Blackheart or something like that. But anyway, this is issue number 241. It's called Dark Angel. First cover appearance. Important distinction to make of Morgan Le Fay. This is Roger Stern, Ann Nocenti, Al Milgrom, Brett Breeding, Andy Mushinsky, and Joe Sinnott, and Christy Scheel. In the letters, Jim Novak. Very cool issue. Really bright, really lovely. Magenta all around. Magenta and green, guys. You can't go wrong. Next up, we have issue number 243. There you go, 243. Look at this guy's cool head. This is Chain of Command. First mention of the West Coast Avengers is what makes it a key issue. That's about it. Nothing more to report. Same team as usual. Star Fox battles bandits, the Vision takes command, Scarlet Witch fights a fire, and Earth's mightiest heroes return from the Secret Wars. Oh, it's post-Secret Wars. That's fun. Okay. What year is this? Has to be 84, yeah. All right. We do have the Secret Wars, all the Secret Wars. We've got them. The not-so-secret wars. We'll get to them eventually. This is the first appearance of Maria Rambeau, who is Monica Rambeau's mom? Daughter? Oh, boy. Now I don't remember. Mom. Yeah, mom. There you go. First appearance of Maria Rambeau. Not a whole lot of other information. The issue is called Gatherings, Family Feud. Oh, guest starring Circe of the Eternals. So we got a little Eternals action going on. I liked the movie didn't love it. She's just like, I don't understand the ending of it. I mean, I understand it, but it just suddenly she turns, what's his name? the big cosmic dude coming out of the sea just says, okay, I'll just make you an iceberg or a rockberg or adamantium, whichever it is. I don't know. It just didn't gel for me. Visually amazing though. I'll give it that. Couple more left. We're almost at the end of this box. So strap in, because we now have, okay, one more and then we have a major. One more minor and then a major. And it's a big major. So, hold your breath. Don't hold it. I'm not giving medical advice here. All right, so minor key. This is the first team up of the Avengers and the West Coast Avengers. It's issue 250. It's called World Power. That's all I got, but it's a cool cover. Double size, double team excitement. The Fist of Maelstrom. Somebody thinks they're funny, I think. Or I just have a twisted sense of humor. Let's put it that way. All right, here we go. Moving on to the major key. See this again on a lot of walls of comic book stores. It's one of those ones that you look up and you're like, damn, I'm not going to be able to buy that because I don't have a bunch of money. But here we go. It is the first appearance of Nebula, and it is a really cool cover. This is John Buscema and Tom Palmer Sr. It is called, again, Holocaust in a Hidden Land. Come on, guys. Why? Let's just call it Terminus. It's called Terminus. Roger Stern was the writer on this one, but there you have it. First appearance of Nebula. Very cool. You got Black Knight and Eros and Hercules and Cap on the cover, and they are fighting, I assume, this guy, Terminus. Should I know who that is? Probably. I don't, but whatever. Let's look it up. Well, here's an interesting description. It says, can the Savage Land possibly survive the onslaught of Terminus? Will untold scores of mastodons, Tyrannosaurus, and, pterodons meet final extinction? Heck, will Khazar and Zabu meet final extinction? And what of Khazar's new birdie? Oh no, new bride. I don't have my glasses on. Shanna, the she-devil. Will the Avengers arrive in time? And even if they do, will they survive? The answers come fast and furious in this issue. And this says, wait, does it say that here? No, but this says it's called The Death of Terminus. So I guess he doesn't last very long. We got one copy of that. We're moving on to the second appearance of Nebula. This is Avengers 258. It's called Pyrrhic Victory. Let's read it. It's kind of a long description. Recovering from the attack by Terminus, the Avengers head back to the mansion only to learn that their security status has been revoked pending investigation of the Vision's actions against NORAD. The Avengers are then called out to round up Fire-Lord, only to learn that Spider-Man has taken care of that for them before their arrival. Meanwhile, Captain Marvel leaves Nebula's armada to warn Earth of her approach, but she needs to use Skrull equipment to do so. While the Skrulls try to prevent this, an antimatter missile, launched by Nebula to destroy the Skrull armada, detonates with results not revealed until next issue. Nice baby blue cover, beautiful. It's a good contrast color on the color wheel to the orange and yellow of Fire-Lord. Let's see, who's working on this? So we got, writer is Roger Stern, cover penciler John Buscema, cover inker Tom Palmer Sr., colorist Christy Scheel, letterer Jim Novak. Some of the same people, still working on it. It's a cool run. All right, let's go to the next one. Only a few more left in this box. So we got issue number 260. I like this cover. This is kind of cool looking. So this is called Secret Wars 2 Assault on Sanctuary 2. So as you can see, this is a Secret Wars 2 crossover. Skrulls stand together against Nebula and her group. Nova is initially opposed to the alliance, but when he returns to Xandar and finds it ravaged by Nebula, he changes his mind quickly and completely. The Beyonder arrives as well, continuing his attempts to learn about humanity, and he teleports Nebula and her group to another galaxy. Star Fox is reeling from Nebula's claim that Thanos is her grandfather and decides that he must track her down to prove or disprove her claim. So we're in the weeds a little bit with the family drama of the Thanos crew. Titans, I guess you would call them, right? They're from Titan, so they're Titan. I don't remember. Anyway, this is a nice, cool cover. Next up, 264. This is the first appearance of Yellow Jacket Rita Damara as Yellow Jacket. I know absolutely nothing about this character. Never heard of her. That's on me. Let's read about it. It's called Stings and Sorrows. The Wasp learns she still retains her wings. That's nice. And can fly even when only shrinking to 4 feet tall. It's a weird limitation. An unidentified woman steals Hank Pym's Yellow Jacket costume and size-changing inventions, but is stopped by the Wasp. Oh, so seems like it might just be a one-off. But cool to see somebody else in the Yellow Jacket costume. And now the all-new Yellow Jacket. Probably lasted an issue. After that, jump a few. Ooh, we've got issue 267. It is a minor key, and it is a minor key because this is the first team appearance of the Council of Kangs. This is called Time and Time Again. That's all I got. But Council of Kangs, I know that we're still speculating on whether or not any version of Kang will show up again in the upcoming Avengers movies. I think there is a pretty low chance of that happening. Or let's say Doom. We follow Doom, Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom, around a few different universes on his... I'm assuming what his goal is going to be is sort of like in Secret Wars, the most recent Secret Wars, that he's just destroying other universes. So if that's true, then maybe we get him showing up in the arena of the Council of Kangs that we saw at the end of Ant-Man Quantumania and just very quickly obliterates it, and that's our explanation of where Kang went. That would show how powerful Doom is and what a threat he is. It would sort of, I think it would be a little analogous to like us meeting Thanos and him just taking Banner out or the Hulk out right away, like no problem. I have to sneeze. That's just my theory. We'll find out. Kang lives. After that, we're almost to the end of this box. We've got follow up on that storyline, 269. This is the Battle of Kang versus Immortus, and it is the origin of Kang as Ramatut. Great. It's called The Once and Future Kang. I feel like I've talked about this before, but there it is. Cool cover. Oh, I have read this. I read on, what's it called? The Marvel's Unlimited Digital whatever. I read a whole reading guide, series that they provided of like the sort of origin of Kang, and this is one of the issues. So I have read this, and it's pretty cool. So you should check it out. That is it for this box. Although I am gonna put this down because I just think it's a really cool cover. It's the following issue, but it's the last issue in this box. It's 270, and we've got Namor and the Wasp battles Moonstone. Cool, but I don't know. There's something about this cover. I think it's just the era and the look of it that I really like. Let's see who was on this. I'm sure it's all the same people. Yeah, so the cover is John Buscema. Cover anchors Tom Palmer Sr. It was written by Roger Stern. I can tell you what happens in it. The Avengers have returned from their battle with Kang, only to find the mansion swarmed by protesters, upset that Namor is now a member of the team. Moonstone stirs up the crowd while lawsuits are filed, and Atlantis is taken over by Atuma. That's pretty funny. I love how, like, litigious some of these issues have become with protesters and lawsuits and such. It's pretty funny. You got to do something, though. People are upset. But, yeah, there you go. So that's the end of that box. Next episode, we'll start box number 3 of the Avengers. And I can tell you there are not as many keys because as we get further along the run of Avengers, it's just the nature of it. But there are a handful, so we might get through that one pretty fast. And then we're also going to touch on the annuals, which we have not talked about yet. So once we finish Volume 1, Avengers, I do have some of Volume 2. We're going to go dive into the Avengers annuals, which I think I have, 15 or 20 of. And there are some key issues in that people I think would be excited to see. So stay tuned for that, and then that's it. All right, so that wraps up episode 5. Thank you for joining us. We can't wait to see you next time. I don't know, I don't have a sign-off yet, but I will. Until then, until I have a sign-off,